Well, okay, everybody, we're back. This is Get Decked. We're almost caught up to current releases, but this is the series where I open an Elite Trainer box from the Scarlet and Violet era. We've gone in order from Scarlet and Violet base all the way up to today. We are opening Twilight Masquerade. What we do with these cards, I open the box, I rip my 9 packs, and I've made a deck out of it. I started with Scarlet and Violet, and then as each set has progressed, I've added cards to the deck, I've removed old cards, trying to make the most consistent, powerful, and cohesive deck that I can, with using very limited materials. So, again, today we've got Twilight Masquerade, and there are some key pieces that I think will fit well in my deck. But before we cruise through these packs, here's what the deck looked like before. You can pause and take a look if you need to. And our previous scores didn't really change with the addition of temporal forces. So our consistency was a 7 out of 10, our power was a 6 out of 10, and our synergy was also a 7 out of 10. We did gain a couple good pieces in the last opening, but not really enough to justify really any score bump. So we're looking for a few more key pieces here that can bring us up even a half point in some regards. So if you have not watched the series to this point, do it. The description's down below. You can't jump in on like the 8th episode and just expect to know what's going on. The first 7 episodes will give you all the detail that you need to know how the hell we ended up here with the cards that we have. So click the link in the description, go check out what I've been doing, and then come on back here when you're ready for the 8th episode. Okay, so we've got our 9 booster packs, we've got our promo card, which is not going to end up in the deck, and you'll get some code cards too. The Overpun is not even that cool, to be honest with you. Like, the artwork doesn't even really do anything for me, so oh well. But yeah, so we're gonna rip these packs. We're gonna take a look at what the deck looks like, and we're gonna see what changes we can make. We're gonna play test it, and we're gonna give it another updated score, which I'm usually better at mentioning in the intro. And yeah, I'm Brett. If this is your first time watching me, you shouldn't have ignored me. You should go back and watch the rest of the series and catch up. But either way, thanks for your time. But we've got Frogadier here. We've got Illumise, Applin, Nose Pass, Boomerang Energy, Rhyfort, Palafin, Applin, Slugma, and Ting Lu. Nothing. I did do a little bit of a peek at what's in this set before I opened it. I haven't really been in the habit of that because I really just didn't have a path forward with like what cards I could pull that would really send me in the right direction. But now that I've kind of got a clue, there are some things that I would like. One thing being the Monkey Dory and any A-Spec. Last video, I mean, if you watched it, you watched it. If you haven't, you haven't. But there isn't an A-Spec in Twilight Masquerade that wouldn't go in the deck. So any A-Spec would be good. We got Chiyu, we've got a Lucky Helmet, Mightyena, Snorlax, Okidogi, Pheasantipity, and there's your code card. So we have seen everybody now in 2 packs, everybody of the loyal 3 except Monkey Dory. Sick. And like this will be the video where like I don't get anything, you know? Like this set could absolutely bring my deck onto the next level, and this will be the day that it just doesn't. Hey, we got Chimecho, we got Chimchar, Whirlipede, Crawdaunt, Iron Bundle, Festival Grounds, Florges, Caretaker, Flabebe, and another Okidogi. Oh boy. Alright. As of the recording, this is Thursday night. It is August, 22nd. Tomorrow is the scheduled release date for Shrouded Fable Elite Trainer boxes. So I'm almost caught up with the series, which is nice. Forgot the code card. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting an episode of the series out close to the release of sets moving forward. We've got Kadabra here, Belly Bolt, Hassel. Hassel's pretty good. Hassel could absolutely go in the deck. Poliwrath, Heracross, Groudon, and Sinastra. Or Sinistcha, whatever. No, nothing. Not even an EX. There are very few EXs that I could pull that would make me want to consider totally changing my deck also. Like, even if I were to get a couple, like a Raging Bolt EX and an Ogerpon EX. No, Raging Bolt's not even in this set. Never mind. Don't listen to me. I have no idea what I'm doing. But we got Tangrowth, Venipede, Chansey, Dracloak. I think a Dragapult maybe would do something, you know. Scolipede, a bug catching set. It's a good card, but not for my deck. Ambipom, Poochyena, Chimchar, Chandelure. Dog. And like, I haven't even asked for a lot here. You know, I'm not being super specific with cards that I need. But we are 5 packs in and we're getting smoked. Another note is that these ETBs are $35 on Walmart's app right now. So if you're looking to open more Temporal Forces, maybe this is a sign to, but also based on the polls, this is a sign not to open more Temporal Forces. But here we've got Cook, Clefable, Rillaboom, Hisuian Arcanine, and we got the Sinistcha EX, which honestly I don't even know what it does. 2 damage counters when your opponent's Pokemon for each basic energy in your discard, then shuffle it back into your deck. Yeah. That's not it. Alright. That's our first pull in 6 packs. We've only got 3 more. So the hope is that these are loaded, and if they're not loaded, the hope is that there's just a plain old holo rare Munkidori. But hey, we got Clefairy, we got Volbeat, Luxio, Goldeen, Tatsugiri. I forgot about him. Tatsugiri's a good one. That's definitely worth putting in the deck. I just kind of have to figure out where. Virgiraffe, Jamming Tower is questionable. Chimecho, so we got Cramorant. Alright, I mean, it's absolutely not what I'm looking for here. But, I mean, I like Cramorant. It's cool artwork. And then we've got the Enamorus, another holo rare that I don't want or need. My sleeves are friggin' buried. I guess I'll throw Sinistcha EX in the sleeve too. Quick side note. If you've been paying attention to like the Pokemon TCG meta, hopefully you watched Worlds, like the World Tournament last weekend. That was a blast to watch. I love the fact that like it wasn't just Raging Bolt EX versus like Regidrago. Like I'm so glad Roaring Moon pushed, like Miraidon pushed, and Iron Thorns ended up winning it. Like all controversy aside, great tournament to watch. And I was on TCG Player buying a lot of cards as I was watching these decks in play. But we've got 2 packs left here, and nothing to show for it. We've got Limit, Lampent, Poltergeist, Ducklet, Carmine. Carmine is absolutely a good one. Good first turn supporter that will absolutely outpace some of my other supporters in the deck. Heracross, another Palafin, Kieran, there's the other one. I don't have a lot of switch. Kieran could be very helpful. We get a Torkoal. Hey, alright. And then a Chandelure. So, I am now deeply concerned that I'm going to end up with like no changes to the deck. Because even with no Munkidori, like Munkidori, I thought it was like a slam dunk. Like, yeah, sure, you'll pull it. And I'm not fucking gonna. Anywho, it's It's our last pack of the opening already. No ace specs when I would have been happy with any of them. And no holo rare Monkey Dory. So this is our last chance for anything even remotely exciting. We have 9 tails. I might come back for more, honestly. If I get none of the pieces from Twilight Masquerade, I straight up might like call an audible and go get a booster bundle and see if I can get what I want for the deck. But we got a Trevenant, Mulga, Frogadier. Handheld Fan's a good tool, but I don't see it making the deck. Diplin, Rillaboom, Poltergeist, Hawlucha, and the Ogerpon. This is the same Ogerpon that's the ETB promo. Yikes. Like, I've had some bad Elite Trainer boxes. I've had some bad Elite Trainer boxes and some bad openings in this series. But 1 EX and 2 art rares is a fucking disgrace. Like, that's really bad. It's kind of early in the morning. Still a little groggy. But about a day's passed, and I kind of came to the realization that I just can't let Twilight Masquerade do me like this. So, chill. To go get another Elite Trainer box and like get rid of the clips or just open to, like, kind of defeats the purpose of the series of making do with what you get. Even a booster bundle, I feel like, was a little much, like 6 packs. So I ran out last night. I got 3 more packs of Twilight Masquerade. These are just single pack blisters. They came with like Lechonk coins and like promos of Toxel and Pupitar of all Pokemon. But we've got 3 more packs, 3 more chances to see like something that can really change the deck and not just 3 random cards. So hoping for the best here, but expectations, I guess, are still kind of low. We've got Apom, Poliwag, Helioptile, Corphish, another Tatsugiri, no point in having 2 really, Farigiraf, Jamming Tower, Luxio, Ninetales, and an Ogerpon. 2 more tries. Alright. Again, I think it would be silly to expect anything out of these next 3 that you didn't see in the first 9. Like, I'm not going to go buy 3 blister packs and suddenly I have an ace spec that I want and a Monkey Dory and the deck's great. So we got a Monferno, a Nose Pass, Jinx, Floette, another Jamming Tower, a Glaceon, a Diplin, Morpeko, Darumaka. I mean, again, like, Worlds just happened, like Iron Thorns, this card is super relevant. Is it relevant in my deck? No. But I had to think for half a second before I recognized that. It's okay. It's okay. Maybe there are enough electric Pokemon that I've pulled in the series to make an Iron Thorns work somehow. Not yet. We're not there. But alright. We're here with the true last pack of the opening. If this one fails, I'm not going out for more. Again, we're just gonna have to hope Shrouded Fable can kind of bring us back a little bit. And I think it will. We've got a Luxio, Goldeen, Cedripi, Sandygast, Ariados, another Kieran. I don't see the need for more than 1. Cramorant, Perrin, 2 Pokemon in your hand. Put them in your deck. Maybe Perrin would be a good replacement for Miriam. I don't know. The Girafarig and Tinglu. So we got smoked again. But we'll take a look at all the cards from the ETB and 3 blisters. I'll come to you with the deck profile. We'll go test it this morning, and then we'll come back with a final grade if it's even that different. We have easily the worst haul here today. Easily the fewest cards worth even looking at, and the fewest changes being made to the deck throughout the entire series. I still think it may make a difference just in the way that I play the deck. I can kind of change my strategy a little bit, but I'm absolutely going to come back with Twilight Masquerade with like Looking for Blood. I'm going to be out for vengeance. Anyways, here's what's coming out of the deck. So we have 3 copies of Artisan. One's coming out. And then I'm removing the recently put in Relor Rapska line. I'm going to get it away from my face here. The Rapska was great for protecting my bench against something like Sableye or, you know, that's really the only thing that's going to affect my bench with the decks that my son's going to play against me with. But maybe a Pheasantipity attack, you know. But so Rapska had a few things that it could protect my bench from, but realistically, it's just clogging my bench. When I need 1-2 Rev of Room, I'm going to try to have Gardevoir out there, probably a Screamtail, and, you know, Noivern, or Roaring Moon, or Iron Bundle at any point. Fluttermane, Cleffa, like, I have so many pieces that can clog up my bench. I think I need to focus on getting set up quickly instead of defending myself. And again, having 2 Artisan on the deck, it's very easy to just kind of remove the 3rd one. So those are the 3 cards coming out. 3 cards going in. We've got Tatsugiri. And Tatsugiri's great. Like, Tatsugiri has one of the best abilities in this set where I can, if it's in my active, I can look at the top 6 cards of my deck, pull out a supporter, and shuffle the rest of the cards back in. It's great, like, turn 1, turn 2, getting the Ionos, the Professor's Research. Like, this is what's going to let me see half of my deck by the 2nd turn. Speaking of supporters, going into the deck is Carmine. Carmine is great because I can use Carmine turn 1 going first. If you're not super familiar with Pokemon TCG rules, you cannot play a supporter turn 1 going first. You can play Carmine, and Carmine will allow you to discard your card and draw 5 hands. Again, seeing 5 additional cards that I otherwise wouldn't if I end up going first, which is usually my strategy, just considering I have so many Pokemon that I need to evolve and not a lot of like candies in search to kind of get what I need if I go second. 3rd card going into the deck, Kieran. So Kieran is cool because it can serve 2 purposes. I can do 30 extra damage to my opponent's active EX Pokemon. So we're talking like Charizard, Gardevoir, Roaring Moon, like I can just tack 30 damage onto my attack. Or it's a free pivot, so I can switch my Pokemon to and from my bench. I don't really have a lot of Pokemon that are high retreat cost, like really could get stuck in the active. But having the option just makes it seem worthwhile to put Kieran in there, especially just a 1-of. Even if I got 2, I'd probably still only be throwing 1 in. But that's the deck. With these changes, with Relor and Rapska out and kind of no longer focusing on the protection of my bench, I think adding Tatsugiri, Carmine, and Kieran, it's upping my damage, it's upping my turn 1 ability to get supporters out and see cards. I think you just play the deck hard and fast. You know, if you have to discard some stuff, I have a Super Rod, I have Miriam, you know, I can get some stuff back in later. But I think this is what's gonna help me get set up even faster. So we're gonna hop into the playtesting, we're gonna see how it does, and then I'm gonna go fight God because I got a horrible Elite Trainer box. And we're off into the playtesting, and we've got some variants in our 3 games today, but the thing that was mostly consistent was that I had Gardevoir and Revavroom out turn 2 or turn 3 every single game today. I was able to chain Arvin into TM Evolution and Buddy Buddy Poffin. I was able to use Revavroom's ability. I was able to chain all of the things that make this deck consistent. and I got off to a good start in all 3 games. Did any of those 3 games utilize the newer pieces of my deck? Well, one of them. When we get to the 3rd game, you'll find that Tatsugiri, Carmine, and Kieran all came into play. But here, in our first game, we're again maybe on the 3rd turn of the game, and I've got Screamtail charged up with a couple energies, and I'm swinging at his Comfies on the bench. But here, in the subsequent turn, my son uses Counter Catcher to get my Gardevoir out into the active, and then knocks me out in one hit with Giratina that has the maximum belt attached. So just like that, I got set up and I was derailed. From there, I didn't really have an opportunity to come back into the game, and my son was pretty easily able to take a win in the first one. But as we hop into the second, you again see Revavroom and Gardevoir EX on the bench, and this is the point in the game where I start getting my attackers out. And with enough items that allow me to discard energy, I'm able to get Gardevoir charged up for an attack, and I'm able to take out the first Charmander. From that point in the game, my son made a bunch of misplays, just really kind of scrambled to get Charizard into the active and to get the pieces around Charizard put back together, and I was pretty easily able to take the win in the second game. Again, just continuing to hit with Gardevoir, Screamtail, so on. And here, we're in the 3rd game. You see our boy Tatsugiri out in the active, of course, against a Klefki, which totally negates its abilities. But either way, we fast forward a little bit, Gardevoir is ready to attack, Revavroom is out there, and I'm abusing its ability, and I start taking knockouts. I even come in another turn later to get my Gardevoir out of the active with, I think, 260 damage counters on it, or 26 damage counters, 260 damage. I switched to the Tatsugiri. Use its ability, end up with a supporter, but ultimately do not have a way to get Tatsugiri out of the active. But I charge up my Screamtail and move on. Going ahead into the next turn, once again, Tatsugiri's out into the active. Maybe 2 turns pass. I think my Revavroom was gusted and I had to get it out of the active. But again, I use Attract Customer's ability. I find our buddy Carmine, and I'm able to refresh my hand. Not that it does much help, but it again allows me to see more cards in my deck than I would have otherwise. But ultimately, it led to once again passing my turn. So in hindsight, maybe the Rescue Board tool would have been the best thing to put in my deck along with this Tatsugiri to keep it from consistently being stuck in the active after I try to use its ability. But here, we fast forwarded to the end of the game where I've got a couple attacking options, but I'm also able to Super Rod, actually I use Miriam, sorry, to get my Screamtails back into the deck, and they ultimately find their way back on my bench with energies in tow that allows me to take a KO on my son's Zatsu on the bench, taking my final prize card and winning 2 out of 3 games in the playtesting. Overall, the deck felt pretty much the same, but there were those opportunities that came up where I otherwise wouldn't have had any acceleration. We've seen the playtesting again. We weren't wowed by the changes again. So Twilight Masquerade, I think, is probably one of the bigger flops of the series, in the regard that there are a couple of cards that you should be able to obtain in an ETB, being just plain old holographic rare Monkey Dory and any one of the 6 A specs. Those 2 cards could totally put my deck on another level. Like, increased power, increased synergy, and consistency, like, across the board. But we whiffed on all of them. So 3 cards changed out of 60, which it feels like a change very insignificant and similar to what we did with Temporal Forces, with 4 cards changing in the previous video. So, all that in mind, I think we have a couple half points to warrant the deck. I think to leave it, if you combine the 4 cards that we put in with Temporal Forces, being a Buddy Buddy Poffin, the Fluttermane, the Relor, and Rabska, even though we took out the Relor and Rabska and put in 3 new cards, being Tatsugiri, Carmine, and Kieran. Honestly, I think another card needs to come out. Probably TMD Evolution, because it's seen 0 play. Probably take out TM Devo for a rescue board to pair with that Tatsugiri. And I think that those pieces are enough to give us a half point in synergy and a half point in consistency. Power obviously doesn't change, even with the ability to hit 30 more damage with Kieran, given the option. So, with those numbers, our final score for our deck, our consistency is 7.5 or 7.5 out of 10. Our power, still kind of stuck in a rut at 6, and our synergy is also getting a bump to 7.5 or 7.5 out of 10, for a total score now of 21 out of 30. I don't know. I was very hopeful going into Temporal Forces and Twilight Masquerade. Paldean Fates left me very optimistic. And now those two sets have come and gone in the series, and I'm not looking much better. On the bright side, Shrouded Fable is next. There are a few cards I'm eyeing, but the last time I eyed any cards, it was a fucking disaster. So I'm not going to get my hopes up for a Pheasantipity EX or a couple Night Stretchers or anything really. I'm just going to set the bar low and keep it low, because that's what works. Anyway, if you've made it to this point, you're a real one. Thank you for watching.